We already have plenty of information about what's going to happen in episode 5, what caused it, how the main characters and Kane are involved, and of course, what might come after. In the previous video, I explained the theory about why Jax and Ragatha are most likely going to swap bodies in 2 specific locations, so we won't focus on that today. By now, most fans are aware that the chaos and all the seemingly unrelated adventures are the result of Kane glitching out, similar to what we saw in episode 3. And this scene basically confirms it, since it looks like he's snapped back to reality and realized what he's done. After that, we'll likely see him trying to fix his huge mistake. But something must have triggered Kane to get to that state, right? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. If you remember that recent scene posted on Glitch's Twitter, it's clear that the first red flag was the character's complete refusal to join the new adventure. And honestly, that's not surprising considering how all the past adventures turned out for them. You can also spot Kane talking to Zubul in some room that vaguely resembles the void from the pilot episode. Personally, I think this scene might take place right at the beginning of the episode, because as we all remember, Zubul has always avoided going on adventures, and it was only in episode 4 that Kane managed to catch her off guard and forcefully drag her into one.
Are you kidding me? I'm not just gonna be forced into this stupid adventure.
You can shut up now!
I believe he was super curious to hear her thoughts, since she was basically the one who exposed the truth about Kane's adventures. And if we go back to that scene, it really looks like the characters are trying to run away from the next adventure, which brings us to one of episode 5's new features, a teleport that sucks them in against their will. After that, I'm pretty sure they'll end up in the stadium, and then Jax, Ragatha, and Pomni might be sent to the savannah. There's a good chance that the nighttime location we saw is also part of that savannah, which means they'll probably spend at least a full day there. That once again supports the theory that episode 5 is the super long one Gooseworx teased a while back. Of course, this could still turn out to be a completely new location that hasn't been revealed yet, but there's little doubt that Poacher's Paradise will be the second adventure on the list, followed by the White House, or more accurately, that same office from the teaser. I've already explained why I believe those are actually the same place. At the very least, Pomni's outfit and the glasses that somehow went from Ragatha to Zubul only add more fuel to that theory, and it looks like that's where things will really heat up, especially with that creepy little devil toy involved. As for the Mafia-style bar, it's shaping up to be the perfect closing location for the episode, where Ragatha will finally open up in a way that'll seriously shock everyone. So with that in mind, I want to talk about what might actually happen with that doll in episode 5, based on everything we've seen so far, and of course the leaks we've gotten up to this point. But before that, I think it's important to highlight that in my opinion, the stadium will be the main hotspot for the most important events. Ragatha seems to be the central figure in that setting, while the bar will wrap things up. So let's not waste any more time and dive right into it. Episode 5 will gradually, through the lens of repentance, unveil the whole truth about Ragatha, who will have to earn forgiveness not only from Gangle.
Why are you even the boss anyway? I feel like I'm way more responsible than you.
A team works much better when we're all giving it 110% instead of, 5.
No offense, but you're kind of annoying when you have your happy mask.
But also from Zubul. Despite Zubul's willingness to help Ragatha, her memory of the disgraceful behavior that could have seriously endangered both of them still lingers.
I made like 5 or 6 of them.
Cool, that's 6 out of 300.
Ugh, you are such a grouch. Why are you always being a grunch?
Throughout all the previous episodes, it seemed like Ragatha had chosen Pomni as her best friend. She went out of her way to help Pomni settle in during the pilot episode, did everything she could to lift her spirits in episode 2, and continued her supportive behavior in episode 3.
This place is spooky. I wonder how hard Kane's gonna go with the scare factor.
I hope this adventure doesn't end up being another horrible nightmare.
Scared of the vacuum cleaner too?
Hey, be nice to her. She's had a rough couple of days.
But despite the positive start of episode 4, we finally learned what Ragatha truly thinks about Pomni.
Oh, she's flirting with the gummy guy, 'cause she'd rather be with an NPC than with us or something.
But even that isn't the main point here, is it? At some point, Ragatha and Pomni started feeling like a single unit, almost like a brand, and I would have bet anything that their relationship would only grow stronger over time. Of course, we haven't fully seen it fall apart yet, but the seed of doubt has already been planted in Pomni's mind, and there's no undoing that. Now, if there's someone I least expected to cause such a betrayal, it's Gangle.
Ragatha would like to help you out. Oh, Ragatha. I love her, but After a while, it gets kinda hard to tell how genuine she's actually being.
And judging by Pomni's increasingly detached attitude toward Ragatha after this, it really makes you think about the cracks forming in their relationship. This leaves Ragatha with 3 characters in her circle who either don't fully trust her or hold some small grudge against her. A significant portion of Episode 5 will likely focus on unpacking Ragatha's behavior, whether it's through her actions or words. We don't know for sure just yet. At some point, it might have seemed like Ragatha was actually the villain. I even made a video on that theory, but after some reflection, I realized the root of Ragatha's issues lies elsewhere entirely, and that will be the crux of Episode 5. Remember this key takeaway: Ragatha is not the villain. Episode 2 serves as a sort of gold standard for understanding Ragatha's behavior. It gave us a glimpse into almost every aspect of how she handles different stressful situations. Plus, it featured one of the most mysterious scenes in the entire amazing digital Circus universe. I spent a long time puzzling over its meaning, and now it ties back to the so-called leak we mentioned earlier in this video. Gooseworx teased on Twitter, people getting attached to this evil version of Ragatha is going to make Episode 5 so much funnier. It's a cryptic statement, but it might refer to Ragatha's deceptive mental state. Episode 5 won't just be about some evil Ragatha. It's going to dive deeper into her character. We'll finally see that despite all her seemingly genuine kindness and positivity, Ragatha is the most mentally unstable character in the digital Circus. This idea is backed up by hints from the pilot episode, particularly in one dorm hallway scene. At first, Ragatha behaves exactly as we've come to expect from her.
Even though we don't really need to sleep, it's sometimes nice to kind of take a break from everything and have a bit of a routine, you know? I'm sure there'll be one for... Oh, look, you already got one.
And then, chaos begins to unfold in her mind.
Crazy. And eventually you get to asking what the point of anything is, and you completely lose sight of who you are and why you're even alive, and when you reach your breaking point, something really terrible can happen.
Now we've gradually unraveled the part about Ragatha's mental state in Episode 5. But let's not forget about that so-called leak, which becomes clearer once we dissect her mental state. We've come to understand that Ragatha will be deeply unsettled by her actions in Episode 4. At the same time, she'll be doing everything she can to regain the trust of the other characters. Considering her special bond with Pomni, her top priority will be to hear the words spoken during one of the final scenes of Episode 3.
Thanks for always being concerned about me. I feel like, through everything, I haven't really been appreciative enough about that.
That darker side of Ragatha serves as a reminder that within this character, 2 personalities are constantly at odds. One part of her genuinely wants to help, while the other is terrified of everything happening around her and does its best to hide it. This inner conflict will undoubtedly influence her actions in Episode 5. As I've mentioned before, Episode 5 is set to be sports-themed, and we've already dubbed it Digital Games. Pretty catchy, right? Even though, with a 99% probability, the entire episode will revolve around just one sport: baseball. There are 2 theories about Ragatha's role in the game. She could either be a coach or an umpire. That's what a referee is called in baseball, for those who didn't know. I have a feeling that the role of a coach will perfectly reveal Ragatha's personality, because only in such a situation will we truly see who she really is and how she reacts when something doesn't go her way. After all, any sports competition is filled with passion, and passion reveals a person's true face. To add more intrigue, Kane, inspired by the idea of motivation after a conversation with Gangle, might introduce some sort of prize fund that the characters would find very appealing. But remember what I said, Ragatha also needs to figure out and resolve all her issues with the other characters, and doing that during the game itself is nearly impossible. That's why practice sessions exist, where she could talk to each character one-on-one, and then we'll finally determine who Ragatha truly is: a kind-hearted character who can be trusted, an insecure woman hiding something, or perhaps just a regular hypocrite concealing something truly awful behind a mask of kindness. In any case, we'll need to wait for the new episode to know for sure. However, I feel that Episode 4 was, strange as it sounds, a breath of fresh air for Ragatha, and her words to Jax confirm it.
Yo, Jax. I, hate you, but I don't want you to hate me. Is that weird?
You're drunk or something.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe she's not the most positive character, but she clearly enjoyed simply being herself rather than trying to please everyone. And I respect and value that. I really, once again, really hope that in Episode 5, Ragatha will truly open up to everyone and show who she really is without any pretentious masks.